Hi, my name is Bethany. I am 21 years old. I am the Director of Social Media for the Charcot Marie Tooth Association. I also study nutritional science at UC Berkeley, and I have CMT type 1A. At 12, I was sitting on the floor of my friend's living room and we were playing, and I felt these really strong electrical sensations going through my arm, and it hurt. And I told my parents, and I said, I think there's something wrong. And so they took me to the neurologist, and he pretty much glanced at me and told me that I had CMT. It was very obvious, and I do have a family history of CMT. My dad has never been formally diagnosed, but is symptomatic, and many of his family members have been diagnosed with CMT 1A as well. I have felt physically isolated from other people as long as I can remember. I was always the slowest, and it was hard, and I started avoiding social situations because I was worried about the obstacles that I would encounter. In high school, I would turn down invitations to parties and social events because I was scared that maybe there would be stares. And what would I do? I wouldn't be able to get up them. And, because everyone else played soccer and I couldn't play soccer. And those are the things that CMT can do to you. It can put up very real barriers for you socially, and I was just so ashamed of having CMT and of having a disability and scared of them thinking that I was different or that I was weird, that I would never feel comfortable talking to them about it, and I would never feel comfortable asking for help. There was a moment that I realized that they would have embraced me, and it was after I had dropped out of high school at 15 due to a traumatic knee injury. My parents had taken me out to the mall. I was in a wheelchair. I was in so much pain. And they brought me home, and all the girls in my class were there. And it was my birthday, and they yelled, "Surprise!" And there I am, I'm injured, I'm in a wheelchair, and they had planned by themselves this entire surprise birthday party for me. And it was so emotional because I had never really fostered any sort of relationships with these girls because I was so scared about them accepting me. And here they are when I'm at my lowest. I'm in a wheelchair, I'm completely incapacitated, and they did this whole event for me. And it was wonderful, but it was also really sad because I realized that I wasted years by feeling like I wouldn't be accepted. You know what? I think we need to give people a little more credit sometimes because sometimes they really surprise you. And there are a lot of good people out there, even teenagers. I do have a boyfriend of 4 years. His name is Josh. And he is one of the best things in my life. And I feel so lucky to have found him. He has been the most incredible support for me with my CMT.
Something that wasn't ever really a big deal to me because she was open and honest about it, and it's like, okay. I still like Bethany, she's in a wheelchair, and whatever.
We often don't think that other people are going to accept us because we still haven't accepted ourselves.
One important thing about dating Bethany is she never really had the attitude of, I'm never going to find anyone. That sort of attitude of assuming things are never going to work out just from the start, I find really unattractive, at least speaking for myself. So the CMT was not really a big deal, but if she'd had the attitude of, I have CMT and thus everyone's going to hate me, well, that's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy, at least as far as I'm concerned.
I would definitely encourage kids and adults to open up about their CMT, especially if you keeping it a secret is making you miss out on opportunities. because you don't want to have to admit that you have something going on. Let's face it, most people have never heard of CMT. So it was great to find the CMTA online and to find their resources and read them. And trust me, I read that whole site. It gave me something really important, which was knowledge to fight this. The CMTA site also gave me something else really important, which was access to other people with CMT. And I loved being on the forums when I was a teenager and talking to other people and hearing about what they were going through and learning from their experiences. That was incredibly valuable. When people ask me why I insist on walking everywhere, I say I walk because I can. And that hasn't always been the case, and it may not always be the case. So I walk today